Brews Homebrew, coming at you with a beer review on a Friday. It's a little cooler today, a high of 71 after being in the low 90s just yesterday. But it's a Friday, nonetheless. It's time for a beer review. and we've got what promises to be a very good beer today. Today we've got one from Fort George. It is the highly acclaimed every year, the three-way IPA. That's right, three-way. Every year they pick out two other breweries and they collaborate with them to make a beer. This year they chose, you might know from this if you're from Portland, Great Notion Brewing out of Portland. And then they picked one I really don't know anything about. It's called Reuben's Brews. They're out of Seattle, Washington. I'll bet after this beer they're on the map. Now this year what they chose to do with it is they went for more of a New England style IPA. That's right, a hazy, unfiltered beer, but they use some unique hops in this. I got to tell you a little bit about that. They've used Azacca, love Azacca, I've brewed with it. A new one called X331, I'll tell you a little bit about, Mosaic and Citra hops. So that sounds awesome. Now the X331 was developed at the Oregon State University here out of Corvallis, Oregon, and it was then produced, actually grown over in Silverton, Oregon, big hop growing facilities over there. It's a this last batch they said was like a 10.2% alpha acid, and you can expect things like pineapple, passion fruit, some citrus, a big old dankness, some resin and pine. Hey, that sounds fantastic to me. So let's get it cracked open. I don't know what the IBUs are on this. I do know it's a 7% beer and you can see it's coming in cloudy. I'm gonna give this just a gentle swirl to see if they've got any more stuff off the bottom and pour a little bit of that in. All right, so it's a nice cloudy IPA. As I said, you got a one finger head. It's, I don't know what to call that. Orange Julius, that's what I'll call it. It's pretty looking. Let's go for the nose. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. There probably is dankness that comes from that X331 because I do get some resin and some dankness on this. And I'm picking up some grapefruit rind. Woohoo! Now some mango came through with just a hint of some pineapple on it. Or maybe a little bit of orange to go with that. There's probably other stuff in there too. It's kind of really that cloudiness. You really get that in the nose. I almost want to say like there's a hint of some stone fruit on there as well. But we're gonna just jump on in. Cheers. Man, it is so cloudy in the taste. It makes me wonder if they didn't do like add flour or something, you know. I consider that cheating a little bit. A lot of breweries do it, but I assume there's probably some wheat character in this as well. I assume that there'd be flaked oats, but I think there's some wheat in there. Beautiful taste though, really nice. So different though than so many of the New England IPAs that I've had. Getting a lot of the stuff that I described in the nose, but there's a unique sweetness on this. And I don't know if it just has to do with any flour that they added or what, but it's a really interesting sweetness. I almost want to say like a hint of a juicy fruit character along with everything else I described. There's a big old dankness, definitely some resin on this, a hint of some pine needles, and you're getting the mango on it for sure. There's some orange on it, more orange in the taste than in the nose. I'm still getting a little bit of that grapefruit and grapefruit peel as well. I still want to say there's just a little bit of like a stone fruit, like maybe like it's throwing a little peach in there, a hint of some passion fruit, a hint of some pineapple. There's just a lot of stuff in this beer. It's fun. What a fun set of hops they put on this. Just watching a hawk fly overhead as a red-winged blackbird was chasing it out of the area. And then just before coming out here, I had a blue heron, a rather small one, but just right off the back here. Yeah, I'm picking up a little bit more of the pineapple character on this now. So it's kind of changing back and forth on what kind of dominates the beer. It's a really fun beer. I'm going to take a little time with this and I'll be back with some numbers. This is a very pleasant beer, to say the least. Now, I've heard people just going crazy over this. I've heard like the 99 100s out of people, you know. And I'm not going to say that it's not a fabulous beer. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it really, they really did make a New England IPA. A lot of these places in the West Coast, Stone Brewing, puts out things that they call New England IPAs that are so not New England IPAs. However, Great Notion Brewing in Portland, Oregon is one of my favorite places to hit, and they know how to make New England IPAs. In fact, they make some really fabulous New England IPAs. And I've made one of my own, and I'll be bold enough to say I thought it was pretty damn good. and some of my family and friends will tell you who walked off with growlers of it. It went quick. So as far as like an American IPA or a New England IPA, I've had ones that I think are better. Really, I do. And but it is definitely an excellent category, and I'm giving it a 94. Overall, though, it is unique. I honestly do think they kick some flour, and I could be wrong. I'd love to talk to the guys at Great Notion next time I go up there. It's a very interesting sweetness, and anytime you can pull something off that's a little unique, a little different than everything else out there, man, you deserve points. But even then, I can't go super, super high. I'm just going up one notch to a 95. So if I disappoint you, I'm sorry, but it's a fabulous beer. And if you haven't gotten it, go find it. It does keep popping up here and there. Here it is again. It's the three-way IPA from Fort George Brewery out of Astoria, Oregon. And this year again, they collaborated with Great Notion Brewing out of Portland, Oregon, and Reuben's Brews out of Seattle, Washington. Man, this is a great beer. Truly is. I would say grab one, you know? And don't read too much into the name. It's about brewing. This is Kevin at Clemens Homebrew saying life's too short to drink cheap beer, and I'll see you in the next beer review.